Hello, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. You okay?
I'm good, I'm good. It's getting a bit cold here. I'm starting all these by telling people what the weather's like. It's weird.
Yeah, it's cold here as well.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm up here in God knows how many layers of jumpers, but no one can see you, but you're wearing a lovely shirt. I've already said
oh,
this to you.
thank you, thank you. No, it's just shirt of water work today. That's all it is. So, yeah, just come home from work, had a bite to eat, and then, yeah, jumped on here basically.
Now I've dragged you on here. The food
No,
is
no,
still
it's a pleasure.
digesting.
Absolute pleasure.
So we're gonna start talking about your new album.
Yes.
If I got you on here and didn't talk about it, that'd be kind of boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I
It'd be
guess so.
it'd be a bit, about what are they talking about? So tell us about it. Tell us about all the songs. Quick nutshell. Put it in a
Okay.
nutshell.
Okay. So, yeah, the album's called Metroland. And it's named after the place where I live. So a long time ago, when part of the London Underground moved out towards where I live in northwest London, the tagline and a lot of the advertisements was like Metroland, move to Metroland.
Yeah.
They called the area Metroland, so that's where the title comes from, and the name of the title
Hmm.
track comes from that. Um, yeah, it's an Americana record, I think, is the best way to describe it. But
Yeah.
that's because, anyone who's listened to my radio show knows that I kind of say Americana, folk, country, blues, and everything
Hmm.
in between.
Yeah.
So it kind of has all of that in there. It's stripped back. It is very bare bones as a record.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, the idea was to, because I've been writing songs for, 13,
Yeah.
no, 15, 16 years now.
Yeah.
And the idea was to write my most personal work
Hmm.
possible, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily work out that way, and I can go into that a bit later, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, that was kind of the idea. Got a bit of an inspiration from working with a hip hop artist called Fumes, and just doing some spoken word on one
Yeah.
of his albums. And I just kind of got the bug for recording again from
Mm.
that, and kind of went around that way. Probably, made it strip back because I didn't realize the contacts that I have, and
Yeah.
I've since moved into a much bigger space. So now I can record bigger music, but I was in a tiny room recording
Yeah.
this album. So that's why it's stripped back. But yeah, in a nutshell, Metroland is kind of like a opening old wounds kind of
Mhm.
album, but not at the same time, because things changed as the writing went along, I guess.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do, because I've given it all a listen and I do like it. I'm not just saying that. I'm not I'm
Mm.
not here saying it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Just for just to make you feel good. No, I'm being nice. I'm being nice but truthful with it. I'm gonna pick some songs here at random. You're gonna tell me the inspiration behind them and
Yeah.
things like that. Because no one really, I haven't seen anybody do that lately anyway. So let's go. There you go. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's
I,
back that
I
one.
I feel like, knowing you, I kind of feel like Let's Go might end up being your favorite. I don't know why, but because the
Yeah.
reason being, like, it's kind of, so Let's Go is an old song. That's a
Yeah.
really old song. That song's been knocking around since 2013
Hmm.
for me. It's a song that I recorded. I did record it in some way. I mean, I recorded basically essentially a demo
Yeah.
of it, in 2013 as a teenager, and I just kind of left it. But that melody of the chorus there always stuck around for me, and I kind of always had it in my head. So yeah, I wrote it back then, and then during the writing of Metroland, I put this in quote marks because I don't want to make it sound so
Yeah.
grandiose. I found my archive.
Yeah.
I found all the files of all the demos that I'd recorded as a teenager,
Mm.
and obviously I straight away went to that song. I thought, you know what, I could use this, but I need to rewrite it. I need to rewrite the lyrics to the
Yeah.
verses. They weren't very thematic in and of themselves, so
Yeah.
I had to make them that way.
Yeah.
So I made it more thematic, and it has got this sort of 60s beat group kind of sound to it in a way, I
Yeah.
guess, in terms of the writing. Obviously the production stripped back, so on the actual album it's just a harmonica, acoustic guitar, and a light electric guitar played through a mini amp. Again,
Yeah.
the space I was in was really small. Now where I am now, I've got a champion 100 amp
Oh,
Fender
nice.
amp, which
Yeah,
is
that's what
massive.
I got. I got
So
that one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's a massive amp, so
yeah,
I've got the space for that now. Whilst I didn't when recording this album last year, um, so yeah, that's where that song comes from. It's kind of like that's one of again. I tried to make this my most personal work, but that
yeah,
song is incredibly unpersonal, and probably has very little to do with any emotion for me.
yeah,
It's a song almost written. It's a song written to be a song, if that makes
yeah,
sense. Like it
yeah,
is literally
yeah,
that. It's just a bit of fun,
yeah,
really, as a song, and
yeah,
that's kind of the light. I felt I needed to have one of them on the record to be a bit of light relief,
yeah,
because the album can be a bit bleak at times, as well as there's a lot of
yeah,
hope in there, but
yeah.
it
Like, I mean,
can
yeah,
be a bit bleak. So I felt I needed a bit of light relief in a song like that as
yeah.
well.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Also, so far away. That's a good
Ah,
one.
so far, yeah.
Tell
Well,
us
so
about that.
far away is a very special one for me, because that was a bit of a sleeper song for me. So far away was always going to be a duet,
Yeah.
and I had to find a duet partner for that, and I found Becky Brown. Becky Brown, I've interviewed before on my
Hmm.
podcast. She's a fantastic singer songwriter. It was an absolute pleasure and honor to have her on the track, and she does such a stellar job,
Yeah.
to the point when I think she makes the track
Hmm.
what it is. So the story behind this one is I wanted to write a duet with someone, so I set out to write a duet, and I wrote I wrote this sort of, I don't know. I guess it just came around that I sort of just thought about the idea of doom scrolling,
Yeah.
right? And this is a modern phenomena,
Hmm.
and the idea of, when you split up with somebody who you've been with for a long time, you just kind of end up just sort of doom scrolling. And I a couple of years ago, 3, 4 years
Yeah.
ago now, I went through a breakup with someone who I was with for a very long time,
Hmm.
and we broke up not for reasons of our own,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. It was to do with movement of country and things like that.
Yeah.
So we split up because of that, and it's kind of like that. The whole idea of the song is like, are you still thinking about me?
Hmm.
Am I still thinking about you, kind
Yeah.
of thing? And obviously, I'm tapping into years gone by emotion here. I'm
Yeah.
having to look back to write the song, but yeah, that's kind of the idea behind it. And at the time when I wrote this song, I was actually listening to a lot of Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I really discovered her last year, and
Yeah.
I just got it. I just
Mm.
got everything she's about, and I really actually do enjoy this,
Yeah.
albeit it's against a lot of my music taste. I actually
It's
really
a
enjoy
bit
this.
more out there.
Yeah, so I kind of like took some bits, like some influence from her in the writing of it, but when it came to actually making a demo, I made a demo, and what you actually hear is the demo,
Yeah.
because I made the demo and then I left it for ages. And then eventually I basically went, right, I need to ask Becky now to do this. I need
Yeah.
to ask her to, if she wants to be on the song, and see what she can do. I was a bit scared she wouldn't like the song. I was a bit scared she wouldn't like, because I'm
Yeah.
not the best singer in the world, so I was a bit scared that like she'd be like, no, I don't want to be on this because of my reputation and things,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I was scared because anyone could be like that.
Yeah.
But she straight away said yes and was really happy to, and she loved the song when she heard it. And within that time frame away from the song, because I thought I recorded a really horrible vocal for it, I wasn't happy with it. In that time away from the song,
Yeah.
I grew to love that version.
Yeah.
Not through
Mm.
repeat listening, but through just a break and going back to it.
Yeah.
And then once Becky put her vocal to it, I was just absolutely sold. That was the clincher for me, and yeah, the song made the album, and is probably now my favorite song
Is
on
it?
the record.
That's
Yeah,
that's a,
now.
that's number one.
Yeah, I
What
think
would
it
you
now is.
What would you say is your least favorite? If you could get rid of one and say no,
That's a
bugger off.
fascinating question.
Yeah.
Fascinating question.
There's always got to be
Um,
one. Surely you're like,
yeah.
ugh.
No, there will be. I've got it. It's between two,
Hmm.
I think. Both of which are reworks as well of older
Yeah.
songs. There's a song, track 3 on it. It's called Eleanor,
Hmm.
which is named after an ex-partner.
Yeah.
It was a love song to them, and it was like I wrote it as a birthday present for them.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Well, as part of a birthday present. I'm
Yeah.
not tight enough to buy anything, but like I wrote it as part of a birthday present for them. And I when it came to putting it on the album, I thought I've had this song and I've never done anything with it other than that. Let's
Yeah.
use it for a good purpose. I thought, okay, let's put that out, but I couldn't use the lyrics. The lyrics were just too cheesy. It was just like
Mm.
it was written for someone to get all
Yeah.
make him feel warm and cuddly.
Yeah.
So I changed the lyrics, and as I say, the album was meant to be like a personal expose, but
Hmm.
it ended up being a lot more political than I thought it would. And
Yeah.
as somebody who's never been a political songwriter and hasn't been so political in their life at all,
Hmm.
things going on in the world in the last year have really struck
Yeah.
me. Because I'm people have described me now as especially after listening to the album, as a libertarian.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I might not be party political, but
Hmm.
what I am is I stand up for people's freedoms,
Yeah.
their rights, their equality, liberty, love,
Yeah.
compassion, empathy, all of these things. That's what I feel the world needs. I'm
Yeah.
someone who says you got told in 1967 what you
Yeah.
need and all you
Exactly.
need. And unfortunately, you as a human race still can't do it. And you've been told
No.
that for thousands of years. And as a
Yeah.
human race, we still struggle. And so that kind of crept into that song there, where like the idea is now Eleanor's now an angel
Oh yeah.
who's been sent to Earth to preach these messages to people who unfortunately have not been able to learn from their previous mistakes. And that's where that came from. More Than I Realize is the other song. I'll mention that before
Yeah.
I get off topic. That's the other song that's in contention for it, because
Yeah.
More Than I Realize again is an old song. So Eleanor's a 2020 song. That's how it was born out of, actually, through COVID and
Yeah.
not being able to see people on their birthdays. So I sent the song. But
That's a good gift though.
yeah, well, thank you. I tried. But yeah, More Than I Realize is a song that dates back to 2017. I did put some music out on YouTube once years ago, and I've since privated it.
Yeah.
And I always liked this song because it was an old school country song. It's a country ballad. I like the idea of now I'm drowning in the water from my eyes. I'm drunk on your love more than I realize, right? And that remains in the song, but I had to rewrite the lyrics. I wasn't happy with the lyrics. They're very 2017, and
Yeah.
like, as I've gotten older, I have certainly become, you know what? I'm proud to say it. I've become more woke. I'm going to
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
As in, like, I'm not someone who thinks that's a terrible word, and I hate the use of it being used as a terrible,
Yeah.
as like it's a bad thing. But it's like, oh, what, you're woke? What, you're awake and you're consciously thinking of actually not upsetting people and making sure people feel okay
Yeah.
and comfortable in life. So
Why is it a bad thing?
it's not at all. It just
Yeah,
isn't.
exactly.
And there was stuff in that song that I just wasn't happy with. I wouldn't think of things that way anymore. So I decided, right, I'm not going to use it in that way. I'm going to change it for, actually writing it for something that's better, and a genuine problem that loads of people are going through right now,
Yeah.
which is that in some places in the UK, especially London,
Mhm.
it's so expensive to live here. So
Yeah.
people are having to, especially once people become a couple, they are moving away from the city,
Yeah.
which is it leaves people behind, but also as you move away, you venture into a new life, and you then have to create a new social life, which must be really hard for people. Some people will be better at it than others will struggle, whatever.
Yeah.
So it must be hard on both ways. And the song is, it's a song of friendship and friendship love, of losing, well, not losing friends. I'm still friends with these people.
Yeah.
But like losing the like physical contact,
Yeah.
as in being near to them and being able to socialize with them as much as I used to.
Yeah.
It's about the love of that, and that being not the same anymore, and the passage of time moving on. I love what the song's about, but I just don't love the actual recording of the track. That's the problem with that one. Whilst Eleanor kind of feels a bit, for me, like it's a little bit sort of hodgepodge together, because it's got, because none of the original track is there with Eleanor apart from the chorus, whilst with More Than I Realize, the whole chorus is still there, and it's a longer chorus, and those are the two. Anyway, so that's a long answer.
That's a great answer. It's good. We want to hear everything. The next one I want to know about, before I have another question down here which just come to me, so I will get to that one in a minute. But tell me about Don't Tell Me How to Be a Man, that song. That's a nice long title, isn't it? That's the longest title, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. So Don't Tell Me How to Be a Man was the first idea I had for the album. It wasn't the first song I wrote, it was the first idea. It was always going to be a blues song. always going to be a blues song, and it's so. Don't Tell Me How to Be a Man is about the rise of a certain culture within men. Let's say that,
Yeah.
and it's a worrying thing for me that
Hmm.
it's it feels like anti-progress at times. It feels like moving
Yeah.
backwards, and you know a lot of this culture comes from, obviously we're not in a male loneliness epidemic at all. We are in a loneliness
Yeah.
epidemic. I'm going to say that it's not just men.
Mm.
Once again, men playing victims at times sometimes can be
Yeah.
absolutely diabolical.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a yeah, a lot of that culture rises from the fact that somebody is reinforcing effectively traditional masculine values, of which feel comforting and warm to people who obviously, because, well, effectively what it's saying is it's trying to make you feel not superior. Like if you're someone who feels like you're not equal to somebody
Yeah.
else,
Yeah.
by telling you no, you're more than what you are,
Mm.
that's always going to make you feel good. But the problem
Yeah.
is the way it's being told to these people is in an exceptionally toxic way,
Oh yeah.
and it's in a
Yeah.
way in which it harms other people.
Hmm.
That isn't them, and that's
Yeah.
that's my problem with it. And a lot of it comes from a lot of it comes from certain people online saying,
Yes.
um, they're saying what traditional male values should be, and I'm like, no, don't tell me how to be a man. I know how to be a man for myself. Thank you. I
Yeah.
don't need your advice to do that.
Yeah.
So I will continue doing what I'm doing. So there's lyrics in there. I think there's a lyric. Your preaching ain't no teaching, because it's just
Hmm.
not true what they're saying. It's just
Yeah.
incorrect. It's wrong. It might be their opinion, but just because you've got an opinion doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah. Especially
Like,
like to you,
yeah,
it might be their
exactly.
life, but not your life. They can just fuck
Yeah,
off.
exactly. And it's so sad to see so many, and it is largely young males. And the sad thing is, it's not even men at the impressionable age either,
Yeah.
all the time as well. That's
Yeah.
what's really sad. Some of them are older than teenage years, and it's like it's just sad to see,
Yeah.
because there's so much richness in life in
Hmm.
knowing that you're making other people comfortable and safe and
Yeah.
happy. But in these, unfortunately, these kind of this ideology does actually make life quite fearful for
Yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of women
Mm.
particularly as well, but a lot of people.
I think there's a lot of crap on social media, isn't it? Really fuels
Mm,
all kinds of stuff on there now. It's like you see
yeah,
things online. It's like people who aren't great at something get boosted up a lot for no reason, and people who are good at something get pushed down. You know?
yeah. And often that's because it's often because of what they are saying in particular is
Yeah.
striking a group of people. And it's often a group of people who are like them, are potentially ostracized, and are
Yeah.
potentially, going through are part of that loneliness epidemic that's
Mm.
currently on. And, eh, what happens is, again, it's repeat history, right? It's not
Yeah.
learning from our mistakes.
Mm.
We know what happens when a group of people, feel like they have been ostracized or
Yeah.
are, on the fringes of society. We know
Mm.
exactly what happens.
Yeah.
It's happening all around us right
Mm.
now as well, not just with a certain type of toxic masculinity, but
Yeah.
all around us is happening. So,
Mm.
it's a horrible situation, really, and up until literally this last couple of weeks, when we're
Hmm.
starting to see some political writers,
Yeah.
like big writers in the music game, actually writing some political music and releasing
Mm.
it. There's not been much of it from large
Yeah.
artists, especially artists heavily in the pop mainstream. There's a lot of it to do with, like, LGBTQ plus culture.
Mm.
Forgive me
Yeah.
if you want to add more letters to that as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, I will include them, but that's just my
Yeah.
choice of wording that I've used. But yeah, there's a lot of writers doing that, which is absolutely fantastic. And
Mm.
that's why I love artists like Chapel Roan. I think she's fantastic, but there's none, almost at times, fighting against certain political regimes and things like
Yeah.
that. And that's
Mm.
that's part of why I ended up writing that way. Sorry if this is too
That's
political
right.
for your podcast.
Yeah,
I really
great.
do
I like it.
apologize. I really do apologize.
It's fine. You're gonna get me going in a minute. But it's like
Yeah, yeah.
this is what I was thinking the other day. People were saying, oh, they we try and speak up, by sharing this and that, But
Mm,
then, in a way, they can't say too much. These people, because they want their following to be like, oh,
yeah,
you're so sweet, you're so nice. But then
yeah.
imagine like John Lennon, for instance. It always comes
Yeah,
down to be imagine what he would be doing
yeah,
now about
yeah,
certain orange people, for instance.
yeah,
Imagine what he would have to
yeah.
say about them.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, he did do this stuff, and I mean, plenty of other writers did, and
Yeah,
a lot of them became popular because of it.
yeah,
And that's the thing. It's like the thing is, there's an audience for that out there. The problem is, there's so much out there.
yeah,
If that's not there, you're still going to be preoccupied with something else.
yeah,
So just got to be bold and do it. Your audience
mm,
might change, but you'll still have an
yeah,
audience. They're still going to be there. There'll still be someone there who does appreciate what you're doing. And yeah, which is I just don't think we're hearing it from enough
no,
major artists at the moment. And I'm not saying that like a call to arms. Like, of course you don't have to do it.
yeah,
If it's not your thing or you don't feel confident enough doing it, then don't. Like,
mm,
enjoy what you express
yeah,
yourself. That is the number one thing, is you express yourself. But if you do care about a cause or do care about something that, if you feel like people's freedom's been taken away or anything like that, that is still expressing yourself, because that's your belief
yeah,
system, and that's something that could affect you or might affect you or does affect you.
yeah.
So I do think it is still exceptionally valid to do.
It's like we this. What was it last? Oh, must be in September or something like that.
Hmm.
We wrote that rotten meat. What was about a
Yeah,
certain, what that was
yeah,
about.
yeah,
Come on, I won't
yeah.
say it on here because I might get taken down or put on a watch list. But it was about a certain someone who may or may not be on certain files.
That's a worrying thing, isn't it? It's that
Yeah,
you say that you might be put on a certain watch list or it might get taken down. It's like, why should it? You're just
yeah,
expressing your opinion. And at the end of the day, as much as I said earlier, just because you have an opinion doesn't always mean you're right.
yeah,
At the same time, their opinion's allowed to be heard.
yeah.
So why shouldn't others?
Exactly.
And that's why it's kind of like, everyone's opinion should be allowed to be heard, but you've got to be open to the criticism of your opinion. And
Yeah,
I feel like the people like yourself
mm,
are the ones who are open to that criticism if somebody wants to.
yeah,
It's just that it seems like the other side is a
yeah.
side that aren't that way. It seems at times. But yeah, it's just funny world.
It's just so many songs that you see online and they're like, oh, this is political, and it's got nothing to do with any sort of
Yeah.
political things until it's like, what is it about? Oh, we wave a flag in one part or something like that.
Hmm.
Like, it's a lot more. It's just like a music video. You're not going to hear the flag waving,
No.
on the radio. That's
Yeah.
where like back to a rotten meat
But
song, not to blow my own trumpet or something.
yeah.
I was thinking the
What?
other day, if someone else put that out, if it be Bob Dylan or whoever like that, if
Hmm.
they put that out now, people would say, "Oh, there you go." They'll say
Yeah.
that was it. But no one's even noticed it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Well,
Yeah,
this is what I find mental, and you say it there as well. Is that, like, you said it exactly there. Waving a flag in a music video is a great example, because it's like, I don't just want to know what your opinion is. I
yeah,
want to know why. I want to
yeah,
know why you have it, because I want to know you.
yeah,
We can all preach to a choir,
mm,
but I want to know why you have that opinion. Like,
yeah,
I've on this recording today,
mm,
I basically said, here's my belief system.
yeah,
Here's why I'm writing these songs, because of that belief system.
yeah,
That's what I want to hear. I don't just want to see you're doing it. Okay, why are you doing it? Give me a
yeah,
reason. Because then I totally get what you're saying. I get the validity, and that's how people relate to it, I think. And
yeah,
that's what triggers people to go, actually, I get that. I understand that. It's like,
mm,
there's certain terms, certain terms that I'm not so au fait with, if I'm going to be honest.
yeah,
To do with people's genders and things like that.
yeah,
That I've had explained to me, and I totally get it now and totally understand. I'm like,
yeah,
now I understand, because somebody's explained why it's important.
yeah,
It's like, that's all you need. Like,
yeah,
I'm not somebody who's going to say, oh, we shouldn't use a certain term. Of course, use whatever makes you comfortable, makes you feel good, and makes you feel empowered to be who you are. But
explain it.
I might not understand it.
Yeah,
Explain it as well.
yeah,
Yeah, feel free to explain it, because I'm once it's explained, 99.9999999 times, if not 100% of the
yeah,
time, I'm going to agree,
yeah,
because I am for that cause. Like,
yeah,
I want people to feel free and to be who they are and to feel loved for that.
yeah,
Like, that's totally me. So it's like, just explain. It's always
yeah.
needed.
There's a lot of stuff online, isn't there? Like, if you ask anyone, if it be political or whatever, you ask them one question and they just go at you, you're like
Yeah,
defensive straight away. You're like,
yeah,
I really am just asking, why do you think that, or what is it about
yeah,
that? I'm
yeah,
not, I'm not coming up. Yeah, you shouldn't think. I'm just
yeah.
interested. Why?
100%.
Why do
Yeah.
you think that? What makes this? It's like a certain things, and I'm like, why call yourself, a certain party or whatever, this and that, when there's no need for that name. You're just be a nice person.
Yeah.
There's just so
100%.
much stupidity
Hundred
around you.
percent. 100%. There's no reason why we can't have differing opinions and can't think each other's opinions are
Yeah,
incorrect, whilst also being nice about
yeah,
it. Like there is no reason for it.
mm,
Conversations don't have to get heated. But also the thing is as well is like the reason an argument generates or because of that is because of two reasons. Is one, someone gets defensive when they don't have
yeah,
to. And the other reason, when I was free, someone's aggressive and accusational.
yeah,
That's another one. But
mm,
the third one is simply just, it's just people just don't, you know, they don't kind of justify their own opinion. They just say,
no,
look,
no,
here it is. I mean, facts and figures can be given, but it's also that they're not then willing to take
no,
the opposite side's facts and opinions.
yeah,
It's that shutdown of like,
yeah,
you know what, I've given you my evidence. That's fine.
yeah,
Um, but your evidence is your evidence.
yeah.
I don't care. It's like, well, that's not how it
No,
works. Like, you have
there's
to have
no,
both
there's not
sides.
much communication, is it? It's just like
That's it.
I'm right, you're wrong, and
Hundred
that's it.
percent.
And it's like
100%.
okay,
Yeah, 100%. It's when people get more irate about things and stuff
yeah,
like that. It's usually just because they don't feel like the other person is actually acknowledging
yeah,
what they're saying, and it's
mm,
like it's easy to do that. Be like, yeah, I understand and I hear you, but unfortunately, there are statistics or there is this or there is that that
yeah,
that, that might disprove what you're saying.
mm.
Um, and it's then they go, well, no, it doesn't. It's like, no, the response should be that may well be the case. Actually,
yeah,
I understand that,
yeah,
but that doesn't fall to my belief because this is what I want for my
yeah.
life, and that's where the conversation should go.
Mm.
Like it shouldn't be.
It's
It
like
just have to be an
there
argument.
was like when was it? Quite a couple of years ago now, when we
Mm,
released that what happened to Chelsea, that song.
mm,
I got some messages saying, why did you make it a woman's name? That
mm.
what has happened to her? Why was it not a
Yeah.
man's name? Is that sexist? I was like, what? Was that
No.
sexist? Was that there's loads of different names in front of me. Am I, you know, loads of different words? I was like, what the hell? It's a
Yeah.
song, it's a name. It means nothing.
Yeah. But
No to
also, it's a true story,
yeah, it
isn't
is.
it? Like, and
Yeah,
it's a true story about a woman that was in your life at one point,
yeah,
and it's like, so you sit there going like, hang on, you can't tell me what my
no,
this is my personal experience. It's a name. It's
yeah,
like, it's like people could say that about Eleanor for me, but then my
yeah.
justification is, well, originally the song was actually about an ex-girlfriend of mine.
Exactly. But yeah, but where's the
Yeah,
proof of that? How do I know? Oh my god, just
yeah.
just
The
enjoy the music. Come on.
yeah, the proof is that I'm the man who wrote it,
Yeah.
so I can tell you. Like that's the proof. I'm not going to get a photo of me and my ex.
Here you go.
Or,
How
yeah,
do I know
yeah,
it's not AI?
yeah. Oh no, yes. Oh, again.
It does get quite tiring, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Sometimes these people on there,
yeah.
it's like, do you know? Like sometimes you see on there, and people put like, "Oh, this is me." As one person I saw on there who actually said, "This is me singing. I don't sing in key, and I don't play chords because that is controlling our right of freedom by the powers that be. So I am breaking the mold and doing stuff without key, chords,
Hmm.
or theory." Well, that's noise, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
I mean, that's not being controlled. That is just like, it's like maths is maths, music theory is music theory. It's nothing to do with, political shit.
The thing is, as well, it's just like with that example, it's like no one's stopping them from doing it,
Yeah.
so they're not controlled. They aren't at all. But
Yeah.
they're what they're seeing as control is specific expectations from society
Yeah.
of what music should be.
Mm.
Now, there has been, I mean, throughout the history of music, people have done that. And they've
Yeah.
broken the mold of what music should be.
Mm.
If your choice is to do it by not singing in key and not singing and not playing any chords,
Yeah.
then that is absolutely fair enough. But you also have to understand that people might say to you, "I don't think this is music,"
Yeah.
and that's fine. Like because every time the mold is broken, people say that, and
Yeah.
then times move on and it changes, and we grow to accept what music is, and we grow, and music becomes influence, etc.
Mm.
But there will always be at a time someone will say that.
Yeah.
I personally don't think this is music, and that is also fine. It also
Yeah.
doesn't mean they don't like it as
Yeah.
well by saying that.
Yeah.
They might also, because people enjoy just the idea of people pushing the mold and doing something new and something different.
Yeah.
As a songwriter who doesn't really experiment that much, that I totally commend it, because it's not
Mm.
something. It's something that I struggle to do myself.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether it's something I'd want to listen to or not. I totally admire the statement and the boldness of it. But there's still a right to give an opinion on it as well, and also a right for them to say back to me, well, actually, I think it is, and here's X, Y, and Z. You have to say here's X, Y, and Z as to why as well.
Oh, they don't do that. No one does that. Like, come on, tell us.
Mm.
No, you're being hateful. What? I'm asking a question.
Everyone's just, it's just a question. Questions aren't hateful. Questions are the opposite of hateful. Questions are asking for more information to make a more informed judgment and get the right answer out there, or get or to get yourself to have the correct opinion.
Mm.
That that at least causes the least issues. Maybe that could be the reason why you do it. It could also be just to inform your own opinion. That's a good reason to ask questions. And again, a lot of things, a lot of the things we've been talking about, like the rise of certain toxic masculinity in men and things like that. A lot of it happens because of the lack of questions that are asked of it as well.
There's not much communication, is it?
No, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
I was saying this the other week. I said the problem is now everything is so easy. You can text someone at any time of the day. You can ask them a question at any time. You can do this. Everything's at your fingertips, and because of that, no one puts aside actual time for a conversation. It's just messages. I mean, a few weeks ago, it was me and my mate were in Exeter, and you get more conversation like in that time, face to face, than you might on 3 or 4 days, sending hundreds of messages. But it's different face to face, because you're getting more. You can keep it going, because otherwise, I'm on here, and then the dog wants out. You leave the phone at home. There's a break. Then by the time you get back, Ben's off. In the shower or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It breaks up the whole flow of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. And also when you're face to face as well, you can see visual clues as well. Yeah. Again, this is like one of the things where, going back to So Far Away, actually, this does. So the idea of doom scrolling and being on the internet and being terminally online and being fed content and being and social media, it is an echo chamber, because there's so many opinions there that you can't possibly respond to all of them. Yeah. You also can't see the person behind the screen. You also don't know who that person is. You don't know what they know about you. You don't know anything like that. So you have to play so carefully. And again, because you haven't got those visual clues, you can't have, like you said, you have more conversation in person within 10 minutes than you do over 10 days in a text. You can't have those proper conversations where you actually develop anything of any actual use. Anything that actually informs your opinion just doesn't happen the same way. So like, it's a bizarre.
It's a bizarre world.
It's bizarre. It's a bizarre world. And it's not even the rise of social media. It's the rise of the smartphone. Because pre-smartphone social media was so different. And I think it's
MySpace and all that.
I think it still would be different, because laptops and PCs just aren't as user friendly. Whereas when it's in the touch of your hand and you can actually sit there with it in front of the telly and things like that, it's just so different. And again, that's so far away. Again, to be honest, that is what that song is.
So it all comes round. We've come round in a loop.
Somehow.
We got round there. Right, I've been giving my warning, but we've got about 3 minutes left. So
okay.
we come back again. We can continue this. I think we get 4 or 5 episodes out of it.
Probably quite easily.
I think we could keep on going. People are like, all right, they're getting deeper and deeper into it now. But what I do want you to tell me is quickly, why Americana, and where can people listen to your songs?
Okay. Why Americana? I'm a massive Bruce Springsteen fan. That's where it all started. Age 4, my dad played it to me in the car. It was done. obviously I discovered Bob Dylan later down the line and things like that. The band, these are huge artists for me. And
Yeah.
these are the classics of Americana, like the bedrock.
Yeah.
But going from there, I got into country music and I got into mainstream country, mainstream Nashville,
Hmm.
and that was great. And then that developed into more like finding like the indie countryside and things like that. The East Nashville
Yeah.
stuff. Start listening to that, and that's where it all came from. Really, it just really came from there. And I think like the relatability of the music in terms of like I got everything about it. That's what did it for me.
Hmm.
And then I incorporated all the Springsteen and Dylan-esque stuff into it, which is why some of my lyrics can just seem a little bit obscure in a
Yeah.
way, and a bit sort of like you don't necessarily know unless I explain to you sometimes what some of
Yeah.
it means, I
Yeah.
guess. So there is that. So that's why Americana anyway, just because that's the music I found in
Yeah.
that way. Where can people listen to my
Where
music?
can they
You've
listen?
got
I
well, you've
know,
got
I know, but
loads of
people might
options.
know.
Loads of options. You got all your streaming services. My distributor puts it out on as many of them as possible, so it's all there.
Hmm.
It is on YouTube, obviously, because of that as well.
Yeah.
So you can find it just by typing in Dan Wicks Metroland into YouTube, and it will pretty much come up. And you can also grab physical copies on Elastic Stage. So there's a
Hmm.
CD with a booklet, a vinyl without a booklet, and a vinyl with a booklet. The booklet comes with obviously it's a lyric booklet with loads of pictures, but every song has a long paragraph write up from
Yeah.
me about what the song's about as
Hmm.
well. I felt like if I'm gonna have people pay an extra £5 for this, especially
Yeah.
given the nature of the album and what the album's about, really should be looking at like making people pay as little as possible, which is
Yeah.
what I did. I selected all the lowest possible options on any way you
Yeah.
can buy the music.
Yeah.
I wanted people to get value for money, so I wanted to
Hmm.
shove that in there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why that's there. But yeah, those are your free options. And then obviously there's the streaming as well. And anyway, people listen to my music, I very much appreciate it. So,
But
anyway.
everybody should go out and buy it because then it can line your pockets more, and that's very
Well,
important as well.
Yes, exactly that. I mean, it's only a little bit. It's not much, but it recoups some of the funds of little bits that went into making the record as well. Like for example, buying copies for contributors and things like that. It goes back to recouping some of that. So it does make a bit of a difference. Yeah.
Right, so time's about to be up, but thank you for being here. I'm going to get you back on again. We're going to continue. We're going to continue on this.
We haven't even started talking about the prep for album number 2.
No, here we go.
which I'm heavily in right now. So a bit weird going back to Metroland from there because I'm in a different headspace at the moment. So that was a bit weird.
Well, here we go. Next time. Everybody keep a lookout. Thank you for coming on.
No worries. Anytime. Thank you for having me.